I want to see if it's possible to make money flipping older and cheaper iPhones. And when I say old and cheap, I'm talking iPhone 6s, 7s, 8s, maybe an iPhone XR. Pretty much nothing that's going to cost us more than $100. I've actually been checking eBay sold prices, and believe it or not, these older iPhone 6s and 7s are still selling pretty much every single day on eBay, and they're selling for some pretty good prices. Today alone, an iPhone 7 sold for $95 plus $32 in shipping. This iPhone 7 sold for $73, and it has a 59% battery health. Another 7 plus $85. Another 7 sold today for $133. The thing is, I regularly see these cheaper iPhone 6s and 7s listed for like $20 on Facebook Marketplace. I've never bought them in the past because I never really thought there was any profit to be made on them. But looking at these eBay sold prices, it looks like there might actually be some money to be made here. Now, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to find any of them that cheap when I'm actually looking for them, but there's only one way to find out. All right, so we have an iPhone 8, 64 gigabytes, I would assume, because they didn't mention storage. Pretty good condition, 78% battery health. But most importantly, it's under $100 at $60 as the asking price, and it was listed 15 minutes ago. So I know the expectation is probably that I'm gonna negotiate, but when something's priced well, I'm not one to negotiate because you actually end up getting less phones that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and offer asking price on this one. And it looks like we've already locked in our first deal, which, what do these sell for? And today alone, another iPhone 8 sold for $127. So after fees, I think that's a quick 50, 60 bucks. Cost us 60 bucks to buy it. Not a bad start. All right, so we're currently on our way to get the $60 iPhone 8 that we set up last night. I'm really hoping that we can make some pretty good profit flipping these cheaper iPhones. I get messages from you guys all the time where the sentiment is essentially, yo, this is cool, bro, but I got $72 in my bank account and I can't afford to spend $3,000, $4,000 on phones like you are in the videos. And I get that. Not everyone has a crazy amount of funds to allocate to a side hustle right away. And I almost wouldn't recommend spending as much money as I do right when you start this. So if this works, if you can make money buying like a $20 iPhone 6s or a 7, this might be the best way you could get started in the side hustle. It's low risk, not a lot of capital, and if you make a mistake, you're losing $20 on a 6s rather than $300 on an iPhone 12 or something more expensive.
There you go.
Thank you.
No problem. Enjoy.
All right, just picked up another $60 iPhone 8. It was listed for $100, but we got it for 60 bucks. So 2 iPhone 8s so far today, 60 bucks each. These phones were definitely cheap, but not cheap enough. I want to find some $10, $20 iPhone 6s we could flip. I want to find the cheapest phones you could flip. So this is a good start, but I think we could do better. So the thing with these older phones is a lot of the time that people don't even bother listing them because they're worth so little. And a lot of the time that people just don't want to deal with the hassle of posting it on Facebook Marketplace to have someone show up to pay them $50 for their phone. So what I decided to do is I went into one of those local Facebook tell and sell groups, and I essentially made a post saying that I'm looking to buy older and cheaper phones. I specified iPhone 6s and 7s, and essentially just said that I'm willing to pay cash and pick up same day and just make it super easy for them. And it worked a lot better than I expected. My phone absolutely blew up with messages and comments of people asking for quotes on their older phones, and some of them even asking for quotes on their newer iPhone XRs and 11s and even some 12s. And just like that, we had a very busy weekend ahead of us. Real quick, just wanted to go ahead and thank the sponsor of today's video, me. Don't worry, I'm not here to sell you on anything, but these videos do take quite a bit of effort to make, and YouTube says that 91.2% of the people that regularly watch this channel are not subscribed. So if you could do me a favor and click that subscribe button down below, it'd be much appreciated. All right, so it looks like we are about to have a very busy day ahead of us. I'm gonna be honest, my plan for this video was to buy a few phones that are cheap just to show that you can make profit doing this, even if you're buying really cheap phones. But I didn't expect that much of a response from that post, and it's looking like we're gonna be buying a lot of phones in the next few days. All right, just pulling up to house number 1. Just leaving the first pickup. We got a perfect condition iPhone XR for $75. And we got another iPhone XR that may or may not need a battery. It doesn't turn on. We grabbed this for 20 bucks. Took a bit of a risk on this one, but it was 20 bucks and there's a lot of upside here. So figured it was worth the risk, and I am on my way now to go pick up the cheapest phone we've bought yet. All right, just picked up the cheapest phone we've bought yet. This is what I was looking for when I said I wanted to find cheap phones. I wanted the cheapest of the cheap phones to show that you could do this with not a lot of money and you could get started, and we found it. We got a $20 iPhone 6s Plus. Phone's in like very good condition for a used phone this old. Battery health is decent. Everything's good on this phone. Should be able to sell it for like $80 after eBay fees. Even if you don't have $20, it is so easy to make $20 to be able to buy a phone that this is an extremely accessible starting point if this sells and flips for what we're looking for. I know I'm buying a lot of phones, so I'm spending a good amount of money here, but you could just buy one. You buy the 6s Plus, you sell it for a little bit more, then you take that money, maybe you buy two iPhone 6s Pluses, and then you have a little bit more, and you can keep scaling it, and eventually you will have a lot of 6s Pluses, maybe some 8s, and you could really scale this to a point that you could have a lot more money and be able to buy a lot more phones and make so much more money. But the point is, you can start as low as buying a $20 iPhone 6s Plus. That's assuming that this sells for a profit. I'm talking a big game here, but there's a chance we can't sell this. So hopefully this sells. All right, so it's been a few days since we made that post, and I did not expect that post to work nearly as well as it did. These prices are honestly absolutely insane, some of the prices we're getting for these phones. We have picked up 3 more phones since the 6s Plus we got a couple days ago. I picked up this iPhone 8 for $30 that is in very good condition apart from the cracks on the screen. And then I also picked up this iPhone 11 that has some cracks on the screen as well. We got this for $50. The guy had it sitting in his drawer and he had no idea it had any value. So he was very happy to sell it, and we got a crazy deal on this iPhone 11. Did not expect to be getting phones this new, if I'm being honest. And we did get one more phone. I picked up this iPhone 12 Pro that's in perfect condition. It had a screen protector on it. We picked this up for $250, which is a crazy deal for a 12 Pro with no issues. So I know it's above the $100 budget, but the deal was just too good to pass up. We bought a bunch of phones that were already under the $100 mark. So realistically, if you do this, you buy these cheaper phones very quickly, you could afford this. So I've tried ads like this in the past, and I'm gonna be honest, they have never worked anywhere near as good as this one did. And I'm still trying to figure out what it was about this ad that worked so well. I'm thinking maybe it's because the holidays just passed and a lot of people upgraded and had phones just sitting that they're looking to sell. Or the only thing I think it could be that I did differently this time is I specified iPhone 6s, 7s, 8s, or like broken iPhones. And I'm thinking maybe that specific wording is what got some people to reach out that normally wouldn't because they didn't think their phones had value. So believe it or not, we actually still have quite a few more phones scheduled from this ad that we're gonna be picking up throughout the week. Also gonna go ahead and start getting the phones listed on eBay and maybe grab some parts and fix some of the broken ones. I'm very excited to see how much money we end up making from all these phones. We ended up picking up this iPhone XR with a cracked back glass for $50, as well as this iPhone 11 with a bad battery for $75. These drawer phones are insane. All right, so the screens just came in for the few phones we had that were broken that need repairs. So I'm gonna go ahead and start repairing these broken phones and then get them listed up on eBay. All right, so I tried something a little different this time, and I went ahead and I listed all the phones last night at a very competitive price, essentially every phone $20 to $30 below market value or what we usually sell them for, to try and see if that sped it up a little bit. We sold every single phone that we listed last night overnight, except for this iPhone 8. So I know I said I had quite a few more phones to pick up in this video, and I do have quite a few more phones scheduled to pick up throughout the week, but as of yesterday, I kind of started a video involving this iPhone 6s Plus that kind of requires those phones to make it work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wait for this final iPhone 8 to sell, and then once this iPhone 8 sells, hopefully tonight, we could take a look at exactly how much profit we made on all of these cheaper iPhones. All right, so it's been a couple of days and we've officially sold all of our phones. So now I just have to go ahead and get these packed up, shipped out, and then we can take a look at how much profit we made. All packed up and ready to be dropped off. All right, it's time to take a look at exactly how much money we made. Couple things to note before we get into the numbers. The revenue I'm about to give you is after the eBay fees, and we charge the buyer shipping. So it's actually the amount we got after eBay fees and everything else that we were charged. I have terrible handwriting. I'm gonna do my best, all right? Start with revenue. Our total revenue is $1,854.99. Again, that's after eBay fees and after shipping. Our total expenses, we spent $710 on the phones, which leaves us with a total profit of $1,144.99. All for phones we purchased for less than $100.